YouTube, how's it going? So as you can probably tell, I'm still making videos, and currently we're closing in on 30k subscribers, which is amazing given the state of some of these uploads I make, so thanks to all of you. In other news, I'm gonna live stream in like 30 minutes from when this video goes out. I'm playing Elden Ring, which should be fun since I've never played any Souls games before. Also, I have a webcam, so if you're weird and want to know what I look like, then that's a thing, you fucking creep. Anyway, the link is in the description, come say hi, and thanks to these guys for the suggestion. Load up Outlast 2, start a new game. Welcome to a helicopter. You're Blake, assistant slash cameraman slash husband of Lynn, who's a reporter investigating a murdered pregnant woman. It is a shame she didn't investigate the condition of this helicopter beforehand. The crash makes you black out and you dream of a school with a guy, and when you try to follow the guy, the doors close and a small girl is stood behind you, then the hallway fills with blood like it's The Shining. A normal dream to have, if I do say so myself. When you wake up, you're on the ground, and instead of checking on your potentially dead wife, you're like, I gotta vlog the shit out of this. You can't find a body, so you start looking around and find this dead person tied to a stick. If there was a sign not to go somewhere, this is it. There's a town about 20 feet from the guy and the stick, which makes me think they could be responsible, but you clearly haven't made that connection yet and start banging on people's doors trying to get help. Although you don't find anyone, you do find a hole that they have dedicated to storing dead infants. Yeah, something about this makes me think they aren't friendly. Eventually you find someone. They sound like they smoke 200 cigarettes a day, and they're also carrying a big pole towards you menacingly. Maybe they can use that pole to point you in the direction of your wife. Or the afterlife. When you run away from them, they vanish like a paternal guardian. You go into this barn, the floor breaks, which scared me so much I paused the game. Can't imagine this is a good sign if I'm scared of some fucking wood. I think by now we've figured out that the people here aren't friendly, so it's best you sneak around. And luckily some of these bad guys see you, but a flashbang sends them all into a weird trance, and you go past them to find a church where you hear a man talking through a speaker. Hey guys, so we found this woman. She looks pregnant, and you guys all know what we do to pregnant women. That's the leader, Papa North. He's sort of like the Pope if the Pope was a bit creepy and aborted women's babies. You go into the church and see Lynn climbing out a window, so you both run away. For some reason, her stomach hurts. It's definitely not the Antichrist. Why would you think that? Eventually, the bad guys catch up. Would you put the camera down for like 2 seconds? They are trying to kill your wife. You get punched and restrained while the bad guys grab your wife, but they get attacked by some other guys. You might think these new guys want to help, but they're just as, if not more insane than the religious men. Their leader licks your face and takes your wife. What a strange sentence that was. If you haven't already noticed, there's 2 different factions currently fighting over Lynn. The Christians, run by Papa North, and the Heretics, run by the Face Licker. One wants to abort your wife because it's the Antichrist, and the other wants it to be born for the exact same reason. So for the sake of convenience, we shall name the factions the Pro-Lifers and the Pro-Choicers. Anyway, yeah, we're back to hunting for Lynn. I'm starting to question if it's really worth it at this point. You sneak past a guy and open a door that was apparently attached to the sun, which takes you back to the school. You find a picture of yourself with Lynn and a girl called Jessica. She's the girl who was engulfed by the blood tsunami. You leave the school, fall down a hill back to reality, and meet a guy called Ethan, who's potentially the only normal guy in this place. Man, I hope he isn't immediately killed by the bad guy. Oh. Well, fuck. Before Ethan's Poe-related death, you heard that North was questioning some heretics at a chapel about the whereabouts of your wife, so I guess that's where you want to go. It takes you through a cornfield, the perfect habitat for scary pro-choicers with torches, and a barn that looks like the type of barn that would slap you with a piece of meat given the opportunity. You get flashbanged again, find a cave with some wall art, and come across another part of the town with the chapel in the distance. You have to get this lift working, which of course is powered by a generator on the complete opposite side of the town, and the pole lady tries to interfere with your nefarious lift powering plans. After that and a few hallucinations of the school, you reach the chapel. I was expecting a choir singing some tunes, but you find something a bit different. A naked guy tied to a wheel. It's not quite the same. He tells you Papa North's on his way back, so you hide in one of those confession boxes. Then he comes in with this guy's wife to make him give up the location of Lynn. I should make it clear, North wants to kill her and this child she's suddenly pregnant with to protect this paradise. I don't think you know what that word means. The guy says she's in the mines, so North kills him and his wife. That is one of, if not the greatest trade deal in the history of trade deals. The mines, that's where you need to go. You start heading in that direction. How? I have no fucking clue. It's not like you've got a sat-nav built into you. Your progression is stopped by a cattle door that looks pretty easy to lift up, but no, you need to find a hook, and the hook isn't within 10 feet of it. It's inside a slaughterhouse with rotting dead stuff, and when you retrieve it, you're chased by the pole lady. She finally gets her crusty fingers on you, but you actually fight back and escape. There's a building that you climb into which brings you back to the school. Someone decided to crank up the spookiness because you get jump scared by a tentacle creature, and while climbing through a vent get tongued. It's funny, this game's so weird I can basically say whatever I want and have it make perfect sense. The tonguing brings you back to reality, and you find some train tracks that don't look safe to walk on, but it's either that or throw yourself off a cliff, and we know that's a dumb idea. Just because I said it's dumb to jump off a cliff doesn't mean doing it off the bridge is better. Nah, for some reason a swarm of locusts decided to fly in your general direction as you were walking across the broken train tracks, so you fell. It didn't kill you, you're hanging upside down, and if you thought the lady carrying a giant pole was strange, get ready for a man with growth problems riding a hunchback. This area you've fallen into is what I like to call the Poopy Stinky Dungeon of Dumps. A very creative name, I know. And yes, it's home to the Hunchback Rider, in case you couldn't tell by the arrows flying past your head. You escape through a small gap which takes you back to the school. I've seen this place more than I saw my own school back in full-time education. You see a guy, then follow Jessica, who runs away from you. I feel like this is the only acceptable place for a middle-aged man to chase after a schoolgirl. You climb through a vent and come back to reality again inside a log. When you reach the end of it though, you're ambushed by the Hunchback Rider's boys, and this guy feeds you his blood, so I'm guessing you now have every conceivable STD. They nail you on a cross and plan to eat you after you're reborn, because it's supposed to heal them. Anyway, you obviously don't want to be eaten. That's bad for being alive, so you rip your hands off the cross. It's amazing how you're willing to rip the skin and bones from your hands, but getting a fucking stick and hitting someone to defend yourself is too much. Good as new. You sneak around to retrieve your camera that they rudely stole from you. It sends you back into the school and you get chased by the tentacle monster that's randomly started cameoing inside your hallucinations. You hide in a locker that's also a portal back to the real world inside someone's bedroom and play a game of peekaboo with the Hunchback Rider. They must have predicted you'd run this way because at the end of it there's a barbed wire fence. They catch you again and they're like, oh shit, the cross didn't work, let's try putting him in the ground. How are you supposed to survive being buried alive, you ask? You just open the door. Maybe when I said buried alive, I should have said covered in a bit of dirt. You see a guy just hanging out and find where you need to go. All you need is a rope. Now, if only there was somewhere you could get a rope. You found the rope, but you also found confrontation in the form of a hunchback and his men. I don't know what the heck was happening here, but his men just decide they want to throw him off the edge. You fall, he falls, you survived, yeah. Climbing through whatever structure your fat ass obliterated, you find yourself in the school again. The tentacle monster chases you, then you see Jessica hanging. Listen, I don't really know what these hallucinations of the school mean, but from what my 2 brain cells have gathered, Jess, your childhood friend, hung herself. And that's about it. Anyway, after the Jessica jump scare, you're back in reality and find a lake separating you from your goal, which in case you forgot is finding a cave where the pro-choicers took your wife. As you can imagine, the lake is perfectly safe if you ignore the ominous figure walking into it. Just grab that poorly made raft and start paddling. Yes, the fog is getting thicker and there's thousands of dead fish rising to the surface, but that's what gives this lake character. Oh yeah, there's also a tsunami and you nearly drown. Now, moving on, you go down a river that I'm guessing is the right direction because of the increase in dead and get chased by some guys, then a tongue comes out of the water and it takes you back to the school. Explaining it now, because once you've seen one, you've seen them all, really. Back in the land of the criminally insane, the sky is bleeding. I don't think it's supposed to do that. You take shelter from the rain inside a building and get ambushed by a pro-choicer who just wanted you to know that they died trying to re-kidnap Lynn, which I'm guessing means you're in the pro-lifers' living room. If you need more proof, here's a naked man with a spiky hat. That's some undeniable proof right there. And now half the world is chasing you. The next 20 minutes is just a case of you running from pro-lifers and tentacle monsters until you come across a lift into the mines that becomes a free-fall into the mines due to your earth-shattering weight. With a broken arsebone, you explore the mines. If you're expecting there to be no one here, congratulations! You couldn't be more wrong. You get caught and taken to the facelicker. She has a lot of insightful things to say. I especially like the bit where she said your seed is going to burn the world. Anyway, some plot-convenient rocks crush the pro-lifers holding you hostage, which in case you didn't realize is your chance to escape. The facelicker didn't give you permission to escape though and chases you. Your way out is blocked by some electrical wires that you need to turn off while she patrols the area like an on-duty security guard. After running around these mines like you forgot your way out of a cave in Minecraft, you come across a scene that even from a distance looks like it will strip my ad revenue for everything it's worth. You slide down a hill only to get jump scared by a pro-lifer who blows some of the magical cave dust into your face and takes your camera. Probably for the best, really. The double vision helps me censor some of the crimes being committed in this cave right now. Amongst the gangbang of dirty pro-lifers, you see Lynn with arguably the best seat in the house, made even better by the facelicker who does unconsensual things to you. This is a good time to have a flashback to when you were play fighting with Jessica, because that's a comparable experience, I guess. You must be walking around school after closing because Father Lutermilk tells Jessica she's in trouble for being here, but then tells you to go home. Don't think I don't see what's going on here, Father Lutermilk. Despite Jessica telling you to stay, you end up leaving her alone with the creepy priest. The wonderful tones of her screams must have weighed on your conscience, because you go back to find Father Lutermilk chasing her, and when you open this door, she's bloody and lying on the ground. So did she hang herself, or was she attacked by Lutermilk? I don't really know, but you're back in reality where the pro-choicers have launched an attack on the gangbang. Yes, you're temporarily saved, but the ones who saved you are as friendly as the backstreets of London at night. So you run away to the exit of the cave where Lynn is. How she was able to get herself out of the elevated hog-tie position, I'll never know. And yes, she looks like she went to town on an all-you-can-eat buffet. So at first I was like, this is just some misguided religious people committing horrible crimes, but your wife has gone from not pregnant to 9 months in the span of an average working day. That's not normal. Also, the apocalypse has started and you're in a tornado. You search for shelter that is rudely interrupted by the pole lady because she's still banging about. She corners you and is like, God, my hand. Ah, I see God went for the more hands-on approach to guidance. You make it to the chapel and Lynn gives birth to the kid. I don't know if there's a not safe for work filter on this game, but you see everything and I will never be the same again. In the process, she dies, leaving you alone with the gooey purple Satan baby. Being a single dad must be a terrifying prospect because you pass out and play fight with Jessica one final time, then wake up to Papa North who's like, damn, that baby's ugly. Man, I didn't realize it was that ugly. You walk away from the chapel, newborn in hand, ready to take on the world. You stare at the sun and have one final flashback where you and Jessica pray, and I still have no fucking idea how all this was connected.